Hiya, Barbie.
Hi, Ken.
You want to go do a podcast?
Sure.
Jump in.
Ladies and gentlemen, Barbies and Kens, Chelseas of all ages, and everyone else, welcome to Binging Barbie, a Barbie movie podcast. I'm your host, John, and with me I have my wonderful co-host. Please, Jay, come on! Our podcast has far more pressing issues to address. Stop wasting our time with your frivolous fairy tale witch hunt.
It's not a witch hunt. They're mermaids. It's a mermaid hunt.
That's still not going to bring your grandma back.
But she was a mermaid.
For those of you just joining us, we are a podcast about Barbie movies. Every week, we watch one of the animated Barbie movies, and we rate its story, characters, animation, voice acting, and music to see how it stacks up. This week, we'll be talking about the 40th animated Barbie movie, Barbie Mermaid Power.
The big 4-0.
The big 4-0.
Yep. We're making it there. Getting
Yeah.
near the end here.
We caught up to something that released that when we first started.
Yeah, this is the first of the Barbie movies that was released after we started this podcast.
Crazy.
Yeah, like how have there been 3 Barbie movies since we started recording?
Yeah, I mean, I will say I'm kind of Barbied out at this point.
What? Really?
Oh, no. How could we tell?
Yeah, we've been living with Barbie for a while here.
It's gone
40
to a
movies.
point, yeah, it's gone to a point where it's like, there's really not much else for them to do, except do the exact same thing, but slightly different.
Yeah, we'll dive into it in a second here, but this was released September 1st, 2022. Again, this is concurrent with our podcast releasing, which is just so strange.
It is. It is so strange. The next Barbie thing is going to be even stranger once we get to that. That's for sure.
Yeah. And this is directed by Ron Myrick, who
Mm.
did you look at all into his IMDb?
No, but just looking at the stuff that you put there, he's done a lot.
Yeah, he has been working in animation since 1972.
Mm.
Often he's doing like timing, which is sort of deciding when the character movements and how long the character movements should be. But he's worked on Batman the Animated Series, The Smurfs, X-Men the Animated Series, VeggieTales, a whole bunch of things. His IMDb is just a very long list of projects that you'll probably recognize.
Very long list, yeah.
Yeah, and he's also worked as a director prior to this. So yeah, just kind of all over different projects, different things. He did a lot of like superhero stuff that seemed to be kind of his specialty, which I guess kind of ties into this.
Kinda.
A little bit.
Yeah. Yeah, like sometimes he'll do one episode to a whole show, it seems. So
Yeah.
he's done a lot.
Yep.
He must be a good timer, I guess.
Yeah. And yeah, someone with a lot of experience coming in. And yeah, I'm trying to think. I wasn't paying attention to the character movements here, but I wonder if this is.
Well, it had nothing to do with the background characters, that's for sure.
Oh, one interesting thing to note before we go on. This movie was released the same day as our Barbie Fairytopia episode.
Ah.
Yep, just look that up. I should have done that earlier, but so yeah, kind of connected in some ways.
Kinda, yeah.
Which we'll get into in a sec. But this was written by Anne Austen, who's done a few of the other Barbie movies and also worked extensively on the shows. This is her third Barbie movie, and then she worked on both. I think she did Dreamhouse Adventures and It Takes Two and several other shows. And then we have music once again by the Math Club. They're basically the go-to music people for these Barbie movies now.
Seems that way, yeah.
Yep. And the story here is water, earth, fire, air. This
Yes.
is Barbie Fairytopia Magic of the Last Airbender.
Yes.
Um, because we have these mermaids who could wield these elements. And every 100 years there is a mermaid moon where all of the mermaids come together and they compete to see who will be the power keeper, aka the
Whoa.
avatar, the one who can wield all four elements. And this mermaid moon is coming about, and the magic pearl is supposed to choose 8 competitors, but instead it only chooses 6. And Isla, who you might remember from Dolphin Magic,
Right.
she's an attendant in the royal court, and she realizes that the other 2 spots are meant to be filled by someone else.
Yeah, somehow, yeah.
Yep. I don't, we'll get into the exposition problem this movie
Oh
has.
boy.
Um,
Yes. All of this, of course, changed once the pollution attacked.
oh yeah, no. Once the
Something that,
trash
yeah.
island attacked.
Yes, the thing that Barbie has been fighting this entire time. Both Barbies, in fact.
Yeah, because meanwhile, while this all pearl magic ceremony thing is going down, Barbie, Skipper, Stacy, and Chelsea are cleaning up trash in the ocean. This is, of course, Malibu Barbie and Brooklyn Barbie. They're now sort of together on these adventures. And
Yeah.
Malibu's necklace from Dolphin Magic starts glowing.
Has the necklace ever shown up in the show, just in the background or anything?
Not that I've noticed, but I haven't been paying enough attention to have noticed it.
Cool.
Yeah. Now that I know they're doing the callbacks, when I watch more, I might keep an eye out for it.
All right.
But yeah, so they hop into the water and turn into mermaids, which wasn't a thing the necklace could do before, but now apparently it is.
Yeah.
And then
It's
they
a lot
swim
of
to the
weird
kingdom.
crap
Well,
going on.
it's a thing that the necklace in Mermaid Tail could do, but not the one from Dolphin Magic. So I don't know. This is the lore is unwieldy.
Make it up as we go along.
Indeed. And then while this is happening, we also have Marlowe, who was, of course, the villain from Dolphin Magic, and she's giving a speech about how mermaids are real, which is what we quoted at the start of the episode, and she gets laughed off the stage.
For good reason, because her
Yeah.
proof was just.
It's like, what proof do you have of this? And she holds up like a dirty plastic tiara that you
Yeah.
can get at like Walmart for $2.
But also, like, stick figures of mermaids.
Yes. On little popsicle sticks. It's like when we did Tornado Quake.
Yes. Exactly that.
That level of production value of
Mm-hmm.
a high school disaster movie.
Yes.
Not a disaster movie starring high schoolers, a disaster movie made by high schoolers.
Yes, indie filmmaking at its prime. Yeah, I believe we had a Barbie skateboard that we used for our little dolly shot that we did.
It's all connected.
It's all connected.
But yeah, back at the Mermaid Kingdom, Isla tells the Barbies that they have been chosen to participate in this competition to
But
become the
they
Power
weren't.
Keeper. Well, yeah, I don't know. This doesn't make any sense at all.
They were chosen, but not the little girl.
Yeah, no, we'll get into the story issues because they are. I don't know that they're story issues or just like a lack of exposition.
It's just
Because I think having seen the full movie, I can connect everything together, but it's never explained in the movie. You have to just kind of puzzle it out for
yeah,
yourself.
I have no idea what's going on. But like I could see where the story is gonna go right from the very beginning. Like you
Okay.
know what's gonna happen. It's like, oh, this little girl being shot down for wanting to be the thing. Oh, she's definitely gonna be the
Oh
thing by
yeah,
the end.
yeah.
But then they don't even like do that right. They just ah
Which yeah, they're the Barbies are in this competition, and so they practice with the elemental powers, which we'll have to get into so much here. I'm pitting it all until we get done through the plot
Uh-huh.
description here.
Uh-huh. Yeah.
'Cause it's but yeah, the other mermaid contestants are mean to them, sort of like
Yeah.
xenophobic.
They're also the colored ones as well.
Yeah, which we'll also get into that.
Mhm.
We have so much to get into here. I'm just
Yeah.
like putting pins in a whole bunch of things, and I promise we will get back to them. But there are a lot of pins on my board right now, and there are about to be more.
Yeah.
Because the day of the competition, the various contestants start to discover their powers, but Malibu Barbie is having trouble finding hers. And then they're doing it in rounds.
I
And at the end
guess.
of one of the rounds, they realize that Aquaria, who's the young girl that you were talking about before, she's gone missing.
Oh no.
And so her brother Finn and Skipper and Chelsea go out to look for her, and Chelsea finds her. But as they're heading back, they get captured by Marlowe, who has this cool submarine.
Yeah, so not to mention that Skipper and Chelsea both have mermaid power unlocked at this point.
Yes, which, well, another pin in that.
Another
Um,
pin.
there's this dolphin who sees that Stacy and Chelsea, or yeah, Stacy and no, Chelsea and Aquaria get captured, and goes back to tell everyone. But then at the same time, this Trash Island, which made me think of Plastic Beach, the Gorillaz album, which takes place on a trash island that's been spray painted coral pink. But this is just a regular trash island, not a spray painted one with singing animated gorillas on it.
Uh-huh.
The starts like moving towards the Mermaid Kingdom, which is going to block the moon, which is bad for some reason, I guess.
Something, yeah.
Um, I don't know. We'll put a pin in that. Why not?
Why not?
Um, and so anyone who has powers starts like trying to deal with this trash, but Malibu Barbie doesn't have her powers yet, so she decides to go save them. But she finds Marlowe's submarine, but by that time the girls have escaped of their own
Mm-hmm.
free will.
Yeah.
And so Barbie decides to confront Marlowe, who reveals that her grandmother was actually a mermaid, which is why
Supposedly.
she's obsessed with them.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I thought there was going to be more with that. Well, we'll put a pin in that as well.
Put a pin in that.
The submarine starts to break apart, and Barbie uses her magic necklace to turn both herself and Marlowe into mermaids.
Yes.
And Marlowe gets a very, very quick redemption.
Also, Barbie unlocks her powers by having a tiara put on her.
Yes.
Yes.
Which, okay, let's pull out one of the pins. So I thought this was going to be the reveal that Marlowe's grandmother was a power keeper. And so the tiara was like the power keeper tiara. But no, it's just she puts it on Barbie and Barbie unlocks her powers.
That
There's no
that
connection to the power keeper at all.
that should have just been a random tiara.
No, it might not have even been a mermaid tiara.
It's just like why is that one tiara unlock Barbie's power?
Yeah, why didn't Barbie's powers get unlocked before when she was communicating with whatever?
Right, like she could. It doesn't feel like Barbie earned it at all. It's just like here,
I
for
guess
some reason I know to put this tiara on you to save you,
I
instead of
guess
actually trying to save you.
the thread you could pull is she's communicating with Marlowe, and apparently communication is part of the water powers.
But yeah, but
But
like she never told
yeah,
Marlo to
no.
put the tiara on her.
But like the whole redemption thing, like again, you could use a little bit of exposition to make that story choice make more sense. But apparently this movie is allergic to exposition.
That's where the 10 minutes went. We're missing 10 minutes that these 1 hour films have been doing.
But yeah, pin in that for now. The trash
Pin.
island is still a problem, and until Malibu Barbie, she shows up and she says, "Hey, I think that Aquaria is the power keeper." Big pin in that.
Yes.
And then, with her newfound confidence in her abilities, Aquaria is able to destroy the plastic beach and save the Mermaid Kingdom.
And then
The
there's a
most,
dance party. Yeah.
yep, the most disappointed I've been to have Aquaria win a competition since season 10 of RuPaul's Drag Race. Actually, I wasn't all that disappointed when Aquaria won season 10 of RuPaul's Drag Race. But anyway, okay. Okay, let's start dealing with some of these pins here.
All right, let's take a look.
Um, so I think the big thing
Hmm.
is that there's a lot of ideas going on in this story. And I think a lot of the ideas are good ideas,
Sure.
but there's so many that they just clash with each other at every
They've
point.
also just been used so many times in these Barbie films.
Yeah, so certain ones have definitely, like, the whole characters figuring out their powers thing, that's very Magic of the Rainbow. And then we have the competition, that's more of like Ponytail, but we
It's
haven't seen that one quite
a
as
lot of it is still
prominently.
Magic of the Rainbow because
Yeah,
they have to get their power at a certain time
yeah.
to do this some ritual.
We also have like the mermaid xenophobia, which
Ooh.
you could have done something interesting with that, but they don't have the time to, so it just kind of gets resolved perfunctorily.
Yeah, and it's strange. It's like the only mermaids who are like racist are the one that's are blue and green. Everyone else is fine with it. So
Yeah, there again, you could have built something there, but
I
there's
don't
just
think
not
that's
enough
the type of
time.
xenophobia that we needed.
Yeah, this whole like subplot with Marlowe, and then you also have the trash subplot on top of that.
That's just trash subplot.
It is. I
Hmm.
mean, so because it's like all of these
Can
things just end up clashing. Like they don't add to each other. They just are constantly undercutting. Like the whole competition thing is kind of neat, but apparently the competition is about discovering their powers, but then characters who aren't part of the competition are also discovering their powers, so what's the point of the competition?
yeah, I don't know why Skipper's getting powers or the other
Yeah.
little girls.
And then like
It
the
just
trash,
happens out of
yeah.
nowhere as well.
Yeah. And then like the whole trash island thing, like they obviously foreshadow it a bit
With
early on.
shadows. Ooh, the floating can.
But it's like, well, even from the very beginning when they're cleaning up the trash in the ocean, like
Right, right.
they're building towards it, but it kind of still comes out of nowhere, and it makes Marlowe so much less of a threat, to the point that Marlowe has like a very quick redemption, and then like, okay, she's good now. There's no like dealing with that character and that backstory.
Hmm.
It just kind of gets resolved so that they can deal with the trash.
They want to have a message about pollution, but like they don't want to talk about pollution, so they just ignore it for most of the film until oh
Yeah.
my gosh, pollution. But that's not the main plot. The main plot is the xenophobia, and we have to work together.
But that isn't even really the main plot. The main plot is like the power
Mermaid power.
keeper, but the you see that this is just my issue with this movie, and I think it harkens back to your issue with the first Fairytopia, is that the world building just isn't there.
And I'd
Like,
say that there was more world building here than Fairytopia,
yeah,
but like it still just isn't great.
it's it's not an issue with the world itself, it's an issue with the lack of explanation for so many things, which usually I'm somewhat in favor of. Like, just throw me into a story, and then like don't give me too much exposition. But here there's like so many complex rules going on in the background that never get explained, so you just have to
Yeah,
kind of puzzle things together.
and they kind of clash with each other as well.
Oh yeah, yeah. The less so the world building rules than the like thematic and plot implications of them.
Yeah.
Because like this whole competition is, well, first off, it's set up very poorly. We have this like Pearl that chooses people, but it chooses like 8 people, but we only get to know like 5 of the 8 people, and 2 of
Yeah,
them are Barbies.
2 of them are Barbies,
So
but Barbies didn't even get
there,
chosen.
yeah, there are 2 completely obsolete characters, or no, 3 completely obsolete characters. We don't even know their names that are chosen for this competition. They aren't even like cannon fodder for the background. They're just like,
One of them wins a competition.
yeah, what's his name?
I don't know, but
He wins one of the rounds.
he's
What's
a
his
chubby
name?
genie, I guess. I don't know.
Yeah, what? Just like narrative economy and good world building that is subtle but still establishes the rules so that we
Uh-huh.
know what's going on. And then the narrative economy is important because this thing's an hour long. So you
Yeah.
can't have 3 characters that we never meet that are supposed to be somewhat important. Just scratch off their names. They don't put them in here.
Yeah, but we had to like make room for our songs.
The songs. We'll get into the songs.
Well,
That's another pin.
yeah. Yep.
And then yeah, the competitors are revealed, and the thing with the Barbies, like I don't understand why Isla knew it was Barbie, but whatever. That I could hand wave away. The bigger thing
Does
is
Isla not have a power set of her own?
she does. She has air powers.
Where's her crown?
I don't know. Good question. I don't know what the crowns do. Like we'll pin in that, pin in that. We'll get to the powers later. Because right
Okay.
now we need to talk about Aquaria.
Okay.
Who, like, this competition is to reveal the power keeper. Aquaria isn't chosen for the competition.
Yeah. No.
Like, okay, so is this an Avatar situation where it's like, oh, the chosen one is born every blah 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 years, and then is revealed through this competition? Because if that's how they're doing it, then what? Why is the power keeper not chosen in the competition, or is it supposed to be
Fire
like
Pearl.
through strife the person is like becomes the power keeper? But then it's like, again, Aquaria isn't part of the competition, and then she's shown to have all of the powers like before the competition even starts. Like, again, it's exposition is needed here to show or tell us why the competition matters, what the competition actually does, and why Aquaria not being part of the competition is not an issue for her becoming the power keeper.
How are they decided? How are they chosen?
Yeah,
We know it's a
no.
pearl, but
what
why?
does the pearl do? I mean, I think it's just a magic, like, how do we get Barbie into this plot?
It is, but yeah,
But it
no.
doesn't work because it's like,
This
how does
all-knowing
anyone
pearl doesn't know anything at all.
no. Yeah, and then the other thing that this competition apparently does is it apparently reveals the mermaid superpowers.
Yeah.
But these mermaid superpowers make, like, the narrative around these things is very confusing, because at first I thought they were doing the magic of the rainbow thing where it's like, oh, it's the people who are the, like, they get chosen because, and they'll learn how to do the magic. But no, that's like a X-Men or I guess Avatar thing where it's like, oh, every mermaid is born with these like powers, and then as they get older, like one of them manifests more strongly. So it's like a puberty metaphor, but not really, because then like Chelsea and Aquaria get powers and they're
I was
significantly
so
younger than any of.
confused.
Because
I
yeah,
was
it's
so
like
confused when Skipper got powers.
yeah,
It's like, wait, Skipper? She got
yeah.
powers? Is she important to the plot now? What happened?
And I think it was just, oh, we don't want to leave the sisters out of getting the powers. But then why are the sisters in the story? They don't serve a narrative purpose. Narrative economy.
They got captured and Skipper got the rap.
Skipper got pin in
Talk about
that.
that. Pin in that.
But yeah, no, it's just like, what are these powers? What thematic purpose do they serve in the story? What plot purpose do they serve in the story? Why are people getting powers left and right? What's special about getting powers? It's just like, I need 2 scenes of exposition to just say, here's the mermaids, here's how their society works. Everyone has powers, and then, I don't know, under immense or in like a dangerous situation, they will manifest. And so this competition is a way to make those powers manifest for the chosen ones. And then whoever is able to do all 4 of them is the power keeper. And then explain how the power keeper, like, is that are they the chosen one, or is it like, is it nature or nurture? Tell me, movie. Give me
What is it?
exposition. Why
Yeah.
why does someone who is not in the competition become the power keeper? Why couldn't you scratch off one of the people who was chosen that is unnamed and put Aquaria in the competition?
Yeah, because the film is like having Barbie struggle the entire time, and then
Yeah.
thinking, "Oh no, please don't please don't make Barbie the power keeper." But
Yeah.
then, and I thought that's what happened when she got that darn tiara. I was like, "Ah, no!" But then out of nowhere, Barbie's like, "Oh, it's Aquaria,"
Yeah.
and then everyone's like, "What? Oh, really? Okay." And then she's revealed.
And you see, there's an interesting idea here, which is, if it's supposed to be that these powers manifest under hardship, and then you can talk about Aquaria, she was born without a tail, and so she has an artificial tail. You can talk about, she had hardships growing up, so because of that, she learned all of these magic abilities. But the movie doesn't do that. No, that is not. They never explain anything. Nothing makes sense. Why is she the power keeper if she wasn't in the competition?
Why
If
is Barbie
what
leading the charge? And it's like,
why
everyone, shoot your magic at the power keeper. It's like,
why
how does Barbie know that? There has to be an edit where she says that, and then they kill Aquaria.
uh, it's there's a core of a good idea here.
Yeah.
And like, take any 2 of the like 7 different storylines here, and you can make a really interesting hour-long movie. You don't even need to make it an hour and 10 minutes, so that would help. Like, what if it is about this like competition story, and Aquaria is in the competition as well, and
Mm-hmm.
then like, as this is going on, Marlowe is in the background, like, oh, she's getting closer and closer, and then just have those 2 subplots, and then Marlowe could take the role of the trash island, rather than having the trash island show up at the end and then have a
Yeah. Have her
perfunctory redemption
crab
arc.
be the trash island.
Or have it be, all of these people go underwater, and, oh, we're discovering our powers, and then at the very end you're like, oh no, the trash island shows up, now we have to get rid of it somehow.
Yeah, just one of those two.
Yeah, just you can't do all of them. Yeah, I had a pitch for my own, like, what I would do, but I don't know. That's a bit long, so I won't get into it. I'll just kind of hint at it as we're going through.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, it's
Right.
just like, there's too many ideas, and they aren't explained well enough, and I don't know if the world building is consistent or not, because there's no exposition, there's nothing like that. It's just like, you get thrown into the story, and they're like, here's a bunch of stuff that's going on. Hooray.
No, yeah. This this story wasn't great.
Yeah. I mean, again, I want to like it, but it's just not. It needs to be more economic and better explained.
Yeah, for me it was just too much of stuff I've already seen.
Yeah.
Just in Barbie in general.
Yeah. I gave it a 2.5 out of 5 for the story. I think the story is the core issue with this movie.
It is the core issue. I give it a 3 because uh other films were 3 that I liked less, so
Yeah.
that's yeah, that's just me.
Yeah. Now, I think onto the characters. The characters here, I think, are actually interesting. They
But there's
just,
too many,
yeah,
and
yeah.
yeah.
So we have Malibu Barbie,
Uh-huh.
and you already talked a bit about this, but I like that she doesn't end up being the power keeper.
Of course.
Um, and then I also like that like her powers are the water powers, which is a lot about communication, which is a big Barbie thing of like Barbie shooting magic laser beams. I guess she can do that, but what's more interesting is her ability to lead and to communicate and to bring people together.
Mm-hmm.
And it shows what makes her character unique as like because that's an issue with Princess Power that didn't even occur to me until I was watching this of like Barbie as Superman doesn't make sense with the character they've established in these movies because she's not really Superman. She's more of like a team leader type of character.
Right. Yeah.
Now, all of this is nice, except this is really undercut by Chelsea going through pretty much the exact same arc 10 minutes before Barbie does.
Oh yeah.
It's like, why is Chelsea here? She doesn't need to be here, and her being here just undercuts Barbie's discovery of her own power. And I guess
Well,
they're setting up the communication with animals thing, but it's just like,
right. Plus Chelsea, Aquaria needs a friend.
yeah, I think there is a way to make it to put Barbie in that role.
Mm-hmm.
And that would also give Barbie more to do. And it would also get Chelsea out of the movie, which Chelsea is fine, but she doesn't need to be in this movie. She's just clogging up the characters.
Yeah.
Now, the other thing I like about Malibu Barbie is her encounter with Marlowe near the end in the submarine. And there's this moment, her decision to save Marlowe, despite how it might put the mermaids in danger. I think that's an interesting decision. And the movie hand waves it away because it's like, oh, now Marlowe is redeemed. But I wish they had just like dug into the drama of this. Like, what if Marlowe isn't redeemed? What if she still tries to like go after the mermaids, even though she's now been turned into a mermaid? And then you can extend her redemption arc a little further and give more of a change there. And then you also the other mermaids have a reason to be angry with Barbie rather than just mermaid xenophobia.
Mm-hmm.
Like you can build drama around that, but no, that's just like a oh, she makes this really interesting decision, but then it's fine because Marlowe is redeemed.
Yeah. I mean, redeeming villains. I guess that's a thing.
Yeah, that's been like I remember the Mariposa fairy princess had a redemption that was also kind of hand waved.
Right. It's also just like having this redemption being done so quickly.
Yeah, because there is, and we'll put a pin in it because it's more to do with Marlowe. But there is an
Yeah.
interesting thing you
Yeah.
can do there with these two characters and with their relationship
Mm-hmm.
that you could that could be like the third act of the movie. But instead, we have a bunch of characters and a bunch of stuff going on, and there's a competition and a trash island, and so there isn't enough time to actually build any conflict or drama.
The trash island is so important, though.
Yeah, I get that it's part of the message of the movie, but I think sometimes maybe story needs to take precedent over message.
Yeah.
Like,
Trash. The true xenophobia.
what if the real xenophobia was the trash we made along the way?
Yes. That's what being xenophobic does to the world. Pollution.
I mean, you could build a metaphor there,
You could.
but yeah, this just the plot threads don't come together in a way that is interesting.
Yeah.
Now, speaking of a character who kind of gets sidelined, we have Brooklyn Barbie,
Oh yeah.
who she starts out as the point of view character, who's
Mm-hmm.
like,
Mm-hmm.
in case you haven't seen Dolphin Magic, she's the one that's like, wait, mermaids are real. Wait, you can turn into mermaids. Wait, what?
I have
But then,
fire powers now.
yeah, but then like as the movie goes along, she just kind of fades into the background.
Yeah. She got
And
her fire power and then just stopped.
well, she sung a song about how xenophobia is bad, and then
Oh yeah.
that was her contribution to the movie. She was the audience surrogate to ask all of the questions, but not enough questions because they still didn't have enough exposition. Then she gets fire powers, sings a song about how xenophobia is bad, and then she's done. Nothing else to do for the rest of the movie.
Nothing else.
And she has a line about like sisterhood, because at the start of the movie she's talking about how, oh, I like hanging out with Barbie and her sisters because it reminds me of how nice being an only child is. But then at the end she's like, oh no, it's nice to have sisters. But that's not an arc because there's no midpoint.
There is no midpoint. Yep.
She just sings a song about xenophobia, and then it's like, I like having sisters now. It feels like she's having her own point of view, and we aren't privy to that for like the second half of the movie. And then we have Skipper, Stacy, and Chelsea, who I lumped together because they're pretty much superfluous.
Oh yeah.
You mentioned that Chelsea's relationship with Aquaria is kind of important here.
Kinda. It's just to give Aquaria just someone to talk to.
Yeah, which again, I think you could fill that role with Barbie,
Yeah,
or even just get rid of Skipper and Stacy and keep Chelsea,
probably. Yeah.
because Skipper and Stacy don't do much.
Or make Aquaria older. I don't know.
I don't know if you can make Aquaria older, because then Finn, if Aquaria is much older, then Finn comes off as a whole lot worse of a person
Probably, yeah.
for being like holding her back.
Hmm.
Because if she's like 7, then it's like, okay, of course her older brother is going to be protective. But if she's like 17, it's like, oh, that changes the dynamic
Oh,
a
maybe
bit
not
there.
that old, but okay.
Or even like Stacy's age,
Hmm.
which I don't know how old Stacy's supposed to be, like 12.
Something like that.
Yeah, I think the bigger thing with the sisters, beyond just like taking up runtime, is that them discovering powers just makes things so much more confusing. Because it's like they're going on through this whole thing of like, oh, the competition will reveal what your powers are, and then Stacy gets powers even though she's not in the competition, and this is before the competition even starts.
Oh, yeah.
And no, why?
Uh-huh.
It
Yeah.
doesn't make sense. Why? And again, I think they're trying to do, because it's like, oh, the sisters are supposed to be the like the characters that the people watching the movie relate to more. Because Barbie's supposed to be like this perfect older sister, and then the other sisters are like, oh, they're the flawed, but they're younger, so the younger audience can relate to them better. So of
Hmm.
course you're going to give them powers because you want to be like, oh, everyone can have superpowers. But it confuses the story so much.
Oh, yeah. And everyone gets that different colored hair.
Yeah.
except for Marlo.
And the hair is its own. We'll put a pin in the hair.
Okay.
We'll put a hairpin in that.
Mm-hmm.
I will say the different powers when they're revealed. I wrote it down in my journal because we have like the symbol appears behind them. So for air, it's wings. For fire, it's a phoenix. For earth, it's a turtle. And then for water, when it revealed itself as Chelsea, I was like, why is that a pelvis bone? What does that have to do with water?
Pelvis bone.
It looked like a pelvis bone. And then when they reveal it for the next character, I'm like, oh, it's two seahorses facing away
Oh yeah, yeah.
from each other. Pelvis Presley.
Ah, it's dumb.
Anyway, yeah, the sisters didn't really need to be here.
No.
So
When
yeah.
did they need to be anywhere? So
Yeah, there's certain movies where it's like, oh, it's nice having them around, and this one it was like, I'm confused. I had to write the plot description for this movie, and I was watching the movie going, how am I going to write this description? Because I don't know what's going on. And that might be an issue for me writing the description. Then I'm like, oh, I'll just go to the Barbie movie wiki and see if they have an explanation. And no, they don't have a plot summary. They just have a description, like the Netflix blurb about what it's about.
well, it's better than nothing.
No, it isn't, because it's basically nothing. Because it's like, oh, that's the stuff I understand. I don't understand what these powers are.
Hmm.
Anyway, next up we have Aquaria,
Aquaria.
who, I mean, it's nice to have the big, most important character in one of these movies not be a Barbie character.
But we needed a Barbie character to realize it.
Yeah, and also, like, we don't get to spend all that much time with her.
We do not.
And I do like her arc about sort of independence and sort of not finding her own confidence, but being like, like, I don't know what the way to put it is, but I don't know. It's just there's not enough runtime for this character to be much of a character.
Yeah, her arc was pretty obvious as well.
Yeah. Yeah, I think they signpost it early on, and then they try and do the fake out with Malibu Barbie, but like at a certain point, you're like, oh no, yeah, they're Aquaria's gonna. They've been building this narrative for the.
She's getting bullied about it too. I mean, it has
Yeah, yeah.
to be.
Speaking of bullying, we have Finn, who, okay, I as you are probably aware at this point, I stan a catty, overprotective gay older brother.
Yeah, I wouldn't call him a bully, but
Yeah, just catty,
okay.
which I'm using here instead of a word that is not appropriate for children.
Yeah, please.
But like he's just like, I don't know. There's no better way to put it than that word, so I put it as catty because
Sure.
he's mean, but not in like a you can't sit with us type of way. And then
Mm,
he eventually has an arc about that, and there's other characters that are more so that than him. But yeah, I mean, he was always going to be my favorite character. Like at this point, if you've listened to this podcast for very long, you probably could have figured out that he was going to be my favorite character.
probably, yeah.
You probably figured that out.
I mean, I read your notes, but yeah.
Yeah, I don't know. I like this type of character.
I read your letterbox review. But yeah,
Yes.
I would have made the connection anyway.
Yeah. No, it's like it goes back to what's his name from Magic of the Rainbow. Speaking of
whoever,
whatever magic
whoever that
stuff.
guy was. Yeah,
Yeah. He was great. I would have watched a whole movie of him. I still
sure.
will watch a whole movie of him.
Uh huh.
But yeah, here Finn actually has more to do than him because he kind of gets the biggest arc in the movie, but like the biggest arc in terms of change, not the biggest arc in terms of focus. He gets almost no focus for his arc.
Nope.
But he has to learn to let his little sister do things on her own. And that's actually an arc that Barbie gets a lot in the TV shows,
Mm.
especially Dreamhouse Adventures, and then a little bit in Puppy Chase, um, where it's like having to learn to let your siblings do things because they're old enough and not being too overprotective. And I like that arc here because I like the two characters in the arc. It's Finn and Aquaria. But it's in the background, and I wish there had been more focus. And even a connection back to Barbie, since this is something that Barbie has to learn as well. And then he's also, along with that, he's learning to accept the outsiders. But I don't know. I think it would have been kind of cool if they had built the movie around Finn and Aquaria a bit more. Even doing like the way that Mermaidia was built around the character of Nori
Mm-hmm.
having to learn to work with Alina, or Fairy Secret was built around Raquel. Sort of having this contentious central relationship, which you could have that's the Finn and the Barbie relationship, is they're at odds, but then they have to learn things from each other. And then you can tie Aquaria's arc about self actualization into that and have, you know, Malibu Barbie is the one who understands her because she's like, oh, you're just like my sisters. You could have, you could build an interesting story around these character dynamics
Mm-hmm.
because they're there, they're just in the background. I don't know, maybe I'm reaching.
No, right? Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, again, I like Finn as a character. I think he's more interesting than the movie's runtime gives him credit for being,
Mm-hmm.
because he's just kind of relegated to the background. I like his hair.
Speaking of which, Talea and Serena.
Yeah, they're the mean girl bullies. You can't
Is
sit with
is
us.
Talea the blue one?
Yeah,
Hmm.
she's the bluer one and Serena's the greener one. But
Yeah.
Talia isn't the bluest one. Well, we'll put a pin in the blue.
In the blue.
Um, there there's nothing to these characters.
No.
Like their arcs don't land at all because they don't have any screen time after the first 20 minutes.
It's Talea doesn't even change or reform at all, does she?
No.
She
I
just
don't know. I think it's off screen.
does she acknowledge them at the end or not? She's
I
singing
think
with
so.
them at the end.
Yeah.
I felt like I missed something.
Yeah.
I was probably not paying attention when they did it, but yeah,
You see,
no.
this is part of my pitch as well. Get rid of these characters. Have Finn be the bully character and have him be redeemed because you already have the redemption arc with him. Just do that.
There's not even a
You don't
moment of
need.
Telea being like, "Oh no, I'm not even the control one."
Yeah,
It's just
the power keeper.
they're gone. They're
Yeah.
missing.
Yeah, there's just nothing to their characters
As soon
after
as
a
the
certain
pollution
point.
showed up, like she was gone. We
Yep.
never saw her again.
Then we have the ruler of this mermaid kingdom, I think.
The other blue one?
Coralia, the really blue one.
The really blue one.
And I know you're all asking yourselves the same question. Why so blue? This is an Avatar, The Way of Water reference. In a movie that has a lot of similarities to Avatar, The Way of Water, by the way. This isn't just Avatar, The Last Airbender. This is also Avatar, The Way of Water.
Came out the
With
same year, didn't it?
Yeah, no, it came out a few months ahead. Um, in terms of like kidnapping children and talking to animals, there are similarities there, and also
Yeah.
the why so blue,
Well,
which
there's also Marlowe.
yeah, Marlowe is interesting because they took a two-dimensional antagonist from a previous movie and they gave her more depth with this backstory.
Sure, yeah.
Because Marlowe in Dolphin Magic is just like an antagonist with absolutely nothing going on. Whereas here they like actually develop her character a bit. But there isn't any exploration of that depth.
Uh-huh.
Because her redemption arc happens in about 2 seconds.
Mm-hmm.
Like, I don't know, she could have been a really interesting antagonist. But then the trash shows up. And then it's like, okay, we've got bigger things. Marlowe, you're getting haphazardly redeemed and then goodbye.
Yep.
Like there's something there. You can build a character there.
Yeah, but most of her time is just yelling at people to do things for her.
Which is fun. Her and Oslo have a good dynamic.
I don't know
He's a
why
great foil to
Oslo's even
her.
there. Like, why is he there?
He's just a foil for her to bounce off
He's
of.
not getting paid, so why is he there?
He's just playing games on his phone. I like Oslo.
Like, he was looking for a job.
I mean, I think he is getting paid. He's just looking for a different job.
They cut funding, so I don't think he's getting paid.
I mean, I don't know. I assume she had some type of fund saved up
Not enough to save
run
a
her
boat.
own. Yeah. I don't know. I like Oslo.
Sure.
I think there is a much better version of this movie that still has Oslo in it.
I guess.
I also like how he just leaves. Like the submarine starts sinking, he's just like, bye.
Well, I'm done with that. I'm gonna go get a job now.
You two ladies can fight it out. I'm leaving.
Yeah.
Yeah. We also have Isla is in this movie, and
Is she? I never saw her.
yeah. No, she leaves less than no impact here.
She brings Barbie, and then yeah, that's it.
Yeah. What if the champions that were chosen were the Barbies, Aquaria, Finn, and Isla?
Yeah.
Then you have what's that? 5 characters? So you have the 4 elements plus the power keeper. And you aren't wasting time on a bunch of random characters, half of whom you don't even know their names.
Don't know why they're colored, but okay. Is Isla related to Coralia?
I don't know. I don't know what her role is here.
I
She
kind
seems
of
to be
thought
like
that Coralia was like the mother, but like she's blue.
I think Corelia is like the ruler, and then like Isla is her assistant.
I don't know.
But yeah, no, it doesn't. There's no exposition to explain any of this. It's all like just kind of thrown out there.
It's guesswork.
It's like someone took a script and was like, "Hey, this is a good script. Let's cut out all of the exposition so we don't have to make this movie more than an hour long."
Maybe an AI wrote the script.
Keep in the well, it's credited to Ad Austin. So,
But I was joking because it just feels like a script an AI would write. Just a bunch of elements that we've seen before, but not fleshed out.
Yeah. I mean, I think the building blocks are there. Again, I wouldn't be surprised if there's a longer draft that maybe works better.
Maybe.
Or even like a first draft where you have like fewer characters and fewer plot threads, and then someone was like, hey, we need to add the sisters in.
Also, we
But
want colored mermaids to sell
I mean,
toys.
yeah. The thing is, some of the colored mermaids look fine. Some of the like, we should specify these are like blue and pink, not different skin tones.
I mean, it is different skin
Well,
tone
it
because
is,
it's
but
yeah.
not different human skin tones here.
It just I keep using this term because it goes with xenophobia.
Yeah, but yeah, some of them it's fine. Some of them it's like
I don't
Coralia is just so blue.
I don't like the blue. I am fine with the
Yeah,
green.
yeah. It's a bit like Starlight Adventure, where it's just like here's
Yeah.
a random color. But yeah, the characters here are. I like the characters. There's just too many of them, and the story doesn't support them well enough. So I gave the characters a 4 out of 5.
I gave it a 3. I didn't really care.
Yeah. Next up, we have the animation.
Pretty good.
Oh yeah, the first shot, I was like, oh wow, this quality has gone up
Mm-hmm.
since the last one and since the shows. And you can, especially like the backgrounds look a whole lot nicer here.
Yeah.
Except for when they cut to the Handler Academy of the Arts, which is for some reason doing a science convention on mermaids.
Oh
Okay,
yeah. Yeah.
whatever. But the other thing is like the hair is so good.
Oh yeah, so good.
I just recently watched the live action Little Mermaid Disney remake, and like the hair there is fine. It's live action, so it has its issues. I thought the hair here was integrated better
Hmm.
in sort of just the underwater stuff.
Mm-hmm.
I think the lighting was overall good, though.
It was fine. It's
It
been
was
what it has
often,
been for the past
yeah,
few films.
it was sometimes a bit flat.
Sometimes.
Um,
A lot of like background animation for like just background characters was very stiff,
okay,
especially at the academy. Very stiff in there.
yeah,
Some mermaids when they're just swimming, kind of stiff. Anyone who's not the main characters were pretty stiff,
yeah.
boring looking.
I think yeah, some of the designs I like a lot of the designs here.
Oh
The
yeah.
Mermaid Kingdom has more like neutral tones, which I thought was interesting because before when they've done mermaid stuff, it's always been like colorful, bright, rainbowy colors. Here it's more like coral colors. You have like beiges and pinks and
Mm-hmm.
a few brighter colors, but it's a lot more subtle. And I thought it looked really good. The some of the stuff didn't look quite as good as others, but the exteriors look nice.
Yeah, pretty much. Yeah.
The tail designs here are kind of cool. They're more elaborate than they've been in the past.
I didn't pay attention to the details. No.
And then my favorite thing, this is something going way back to the start of the podcast, is the villain layer, which here is a lobster-shaped submarine, and it's so cool, and I love it.
I don't know how they got that because it was just a normal submarine that was broken. But
Well, it's because they don't reveal the legs until later.
um,
Because
okay,
I was paying attention because I was like, why aren't they showing this whole submarine? And then they reveal the legs, and I'm like, oh, this is cool. I
okay.
like it.
Well, sure.
I don't know. I like submarines, and I'm also
Submarines are
terrified by
cool.
them.
Yeah, don't want to be in it.
No, definitely not.
Most of them
That,
have nuclear bombs.
I don't know if that's a most submarine things or a submarines thing.
I mean, that's just every submarine in a film. They have a
Okay, I
nuclear
see.
bomb on them.
Hunt for the Red October.
Yeah, it's always in the Cold War as well. So
Yeah, I've been. I don't know. I find submarines fascinating, but also like I have a fear of deep water, so they're also like terrifying.
Oh yeah.
Which was an interesting thing when I remember that like 5 minutes into the new Little Mermaid movie. I was like, oh wait, this is gonna be a bit of an issue. I was like, oh, I'll go and see the new Little Mermaid. That'll be fun. And then the movie starts, and I'm like, oh, this is kind of neat. And then I was like, wait a second, I am going to be terrified. It was fine because it's a meh movie anyway, and it's like it was just like certain scenes were a bit more thrilling than they might have been otherwise.
Mm.
But for a few minutes, I was like, oh, should I leave the theater? Because I was partially just there to watch the Barbie trailer.
Was it there?
It was, yes. Though
Cool.
they cropped it weird
Ah.
because it wasn't the full screen, so I was a bit disappointed. Because
Mm.
that's why I was there, and then I started watching Little Mermaid and was like, oh no, I'll stay, even though there's going to be moments when I am terrified. And there's like, because the things for me is like shipwrecks, which there's a lot of shipwrecks, and
Ah.
then like sinking down into the abyss, and there's like two
Oh.
shots of like sinking down into the abyss.
Ah.
I
Ah.
was like, oh, this is okay.
I don't like the beach, so.
I don't either, but for separate reasons. I don't like sand. Of course, it's irritating. It gets everywhere. Not like you. You're perfect.
Well, you said the line wrong,
Oh,
but
I said
sure,
the
yeah.
line wrong. Whatever.
Yeah.
You're soft. Is that the line?
No, I don't like sand.
Anyway.
It's coarse, rough, irritating. It gets everywhere. Not like here. Here it's soft and smooth.
Oh, I always thought the line was not like you.
No.
Okay.
No. He's talking about her, but he's saying here,
Okay.
as in the sand in this place.
You see, I sometimes have hearing issues, and the copy we had didn't have subtitles, so I have always thought it was not like you. You're soft.
Well, yeah. He's stroking her back while he says that. He does mean that.
I
That's the
thought the
subtext.
subtext was just the text.
But yeah. Speaking of subtext, we have Finn's hair.
Yes. Oh yeah, just rainbow hair as if he wasn't already queer coded enough. Apparently people ship him with Skipper. I don't get it.
Uh,
I guess
okay.
they have two scenes together.
I guess.
But no, I'm sorry. That's just, if you're gonna ship him with anyone, ship him with Oslo.
Yeah, hair doesn't make sense in these films.
I like Finn's hair, but all of the other hair, the colors were just questionable.
Yeah, why does Marlo get just a brighter red than her red?
Now,
Why not?
you see, that I'm fine with. It's
I'm
everyone
not.
else's that I dislike.
I'm not fine with that because they established everyone else as having a different color. So now, give Marlo green or something.
I just
It's disgusting. Well, like it matches everyone else.
I just have such an issue when they hop in the water and they turn into mermaids, and it's like, oh, now they all have different hair colors than the established character models and
Yeah,
different hairstyles. And like, why is Barbie's hair blue? What? No, no.
and the other sisters are just ugly pinks.
Yeah, and I can no longer tell Skipper and Stacy apart because they now have hair colors that are too similar.
Oh yeah, yeah. No, I got lost. I thought those two were the same at some point.
Yeah.
I forgot that Barbie had three sisters. For some reason, like I knew that Skipper was the one who got the magic power first. But in my mind, I
Yeah.
was thinking, it's like, that's Stacy.
Yeah, and they
But
already
like,
have similar names, so why do they have similar?
no, it was like I told you the story once, but like it's like for the longest time, I thought that Thomas Jefferson and Thomas Edison were the same person.
I don't remember that story. I don't doubt that you've told me, but that's great.
Yeah, no, yeah. I thought because their name is Thomas, and they end with Essen. And so I
No.
was like, it's really cool that one of our presidents invented the light bulb. Until I was in college when I was doing research on like our theater lamps, and I was like going through the history of lighting, and then we got to Thomas Edison, and I look at the years, and it's like, wait, what? Thomas Edison was that from this year? I thought he was a founding father, and then it hit me. Wait, those are two different people. So, yeah, Skipper and Stacy. I had one of
Yeah.
those moments.
I mean, I shouldn't be laughing too much because I do that all the time as well. Of like,
But no, this is years of just never realizing this.
oh boy,
Ah,
it's like reading War and Peace, except there every character does actually have the exact same name.
yeah. So I gave the animation a 3.8.
Yeah, I gave it a 4. Just some of those design choices are a bit questionable, and there are certain like there's a camera movement early on where it's tracking a character who's descending from above, and then it just kind of stops and holds for a while, and it's like I think they just forgot to like finish the camera movement.
Mm.
But yeah, just certain things, but like the quality itself has gone way up from, well, not like too far up from before, but yeah. Yeah, now we have the music,
Voice acting.
or oh, voice acting. Yeah, the we have a lot of the same people we've had before.
Yeah,
Um yeah, I don't really have much to say
yeah. The
about
only
most of these people.
performance that I wasn't too keen on was Aqualia,
Aquaria?
Aquaria's performance.
Okay. Yeah, I didn't really notice much. The one voice that stood out to me, probably one of like 4 or 5 voice actors that I can recognize by voice alone. Johnny Young Bosch as Finn, which he's been in everything. I know him most from like Code Geass and that type of anime, and then like Devil May Cry. He's been in a couple other things.
Who was he in Code Geass?
He was Lelouch. He's a
Ah,
huge famous anime actor.
okay.
He was one of the Power Rangers, and then he's like, name a protagonist in a shonen anime and he probably played that protagonist. Like I think he's the lead in Fairy
Yeah,
Tail.
okay. I was wondering that his voice sounded a bit familiar.
I'm surprised that I know this person and you don't.
Well, there's so many names.
Yeah. He's in
It's
Akira, Demon Slayer.
I mean, I haven't seen him in anything recently that I've been watching that I remember.
Is that
So,
Black Clover? I don't know. These are mostly stuff that I haven't seen now. Digimon, My Hero Academia,
yeah.
Persona,
I
Star
mean,
Wars The Old Republic.
yeah, everybody's been in the Old Republic.
Yeah, that's true. One Piece. Oh, he was only in 3 episodes of that, so he's probably not the protagonist.
Uh-huh.
Forest of Piano. What's that?
Oh yeah. No, that's on my
Oh, he
list of
was in
things.
Super Smash Bros. Ultimate? What?
I don't know.
Walking Dead? Oh, that's the video game, not the show. Anyway, he has been in literally every anime ever created.
Yeah, him
So,
and Troy Baker.
yep.
But mostly him.
Yeah,
I'd
no,
say.
he's like, and since he often plays protagonist. Oh, he was in Free. Okay. I haven't actually seen that show, just the abridged version, which is
Mm.
great. But anyway, yeah, I recognized his voice right away. And I think he's there's a reason he's so prolific, and that's that he's a very good voice actor. And I think
Yeah,
he did a good
I
job.
haven't quite caught on to his voice yet, like
Okay.
other actors, but yeah.
I'm just excited that I recognized a voice and you didn't, even if it's one of the most
To be honest,
recognizable
I wasn't
voices
even
in
paying
anime.
attention. I wasn't even paying attention. Like
Yep.
he wasn't speaking like Lelouch, so
No. He has that voice though that you can recognize.
I probably, if I listened to him
Yeah.
again, I'd probably catch it, but I wasn't listening. So
He just has, I don't know, maybe it's just because he always plays the protagonist, but he has a protagonist voice.
yeah, he does, which is why he was the protagonist. Anyway, I gave him the voice acting a 3.5.
Yeah, I gave it a 4.
Mm.
Again, not nothing major, but nothing stood
Nothing
out to me
new.
as bad either.
Pretty much the same.
Yeah,
Speaking of pretty much the same, we have the music.
the music. I don't know. This just I got a little tired of the music here. I can
Uh,
tell. So every once in a while I'll go onto the YouTube channel and like watch the music videos for movies that we've seen.
hmm,
And I've noticed more and more as we go along, the music numbers are starting to become their own separate thing so that they can post them as videos on YouTube. Because I assume that the videos on YouTube, the music videos do very well.
hmm.
So that's why all of these musical numbers are very stylized and like almost take place in their own reality.
Yeah, they kind of just show up out of
Yeah.
nowhere as well.
Yeah, here it's even worse because it's like they aren't really all that well integrated.
Yeah, so Aquaria starts singing, but it's like nowhere near her voice.
Yeah.
It's an older woman singing for a little kid, and it was just so jarring to see that voice coming out of her mouth.
Yeah, and it doesn't like advance the plot or reveal anything about the characters or the
Nope,
world.
nope.
Um and I don't know, even like the one that really stood out to me was Brooklyn Barbie's anti-xenophobia song, which
Yeah,
has a good message. Let's be clear,
sure.
it has a
Yeah,
good message.
yeah.
It doesn't do anything. It doesn't reveal anything about any of the characters. It doesn't change any of the characters' minds. It isn't in like you could integrate it into Finn's arc, but it isn't. Like a tiny bit, but not really.
Hmm.
It's just like it's clearly here so that they can make it a music video to post on YouTube.
Yeah,
Rather than, you know what, I mean, Princess of the Pauper is like the high standard for these Barbie movies, but like they're the songs, even the the song about how the lady likes her cat even though it barks like a dog, like that is revealing something about her, and she's taking part in this like farce, but she's still like there's an honesty underneath that and she wants to be that honest person.
and it moves the plot along as well.
Yeah,
Yeah.
whereas
Here
here
it's
it's just
just
like,
let's stop to sing a song
yeah,
about
and
something we just said.
then Skipper gets a rap verse, which you can go
Oh,
to our Big City Big Dreams song to hear our thoughts on rap verses. I don't,
it's
to
not
be
even a
clear,
rap verse. She
no,
just no.
it's, and like I don't mind rap as a genre, and like Hamilton is good. I like Hamilton,
I don't really
but
like rap,
we
but
don't need a Hamilton verse in every single musical number.
this wasn't even rap. It was
No,
just Skipper speaking in some rhythm.
yeah, it's why do they do this? This is more a beef with like modern pop music than with.
I was just so disappointed at how short it was.
I wasn't. I was like, oh, it's over. Good.
It's like, oh, that's it? Like, what was the point of that?
Yeah, I think the bigger thing here though is that none of the songs are particularly memorable.
No.
Like I still listen to Mermaid Party from Pearl Princess
I
and
listened
Queen of the
to
Waves.
I listened to Princess and the Pop Star to be a
Yeah,
princess.
that's the Princess and the Pop Star has some good ones,
Yeah.
and like even like Fairy Secret, I'll sometimes get that song stuck in my head.
I think even the last film had some good songs.
Yeah,
Like the
the
Work It one.
work it was really
Yeah.
good. Magic, whatever that song was from Secret Door.
Magic.
Every
You're
movie,
here. You're
every
here.
movie I watch, I just my brain adapts the thing to like, I have power, mermaid power.
I've got magic. Yeah.
These are songs that whether I like them or not, they're stuck in my head.
Yeah.
But yeah, this one I don't imagine the same will happen with any of these songs.
She's the queen of the waves.
Da, da. Ah, that's a good song.
Yes, but nothing memorable here,
No,
sadly.
it's again the Math Club. They can do good work, but sometimes I think they're just kind of. It's a very like utilitarian thing
Mm-hmm.
with a lot of their music. I miss the artistry of bringing in someone to write lyrics and someone to compose and sitting down and integrating it into the story,
Mm-hmm.
which is a lot of extra work and effort, but you can tell with Princess and the Pauper because it's so good. But yeah, that's music here. I gave it a 3.5 out of 5. Usually I bump up the score a bit if it's a musical, but this isn't a musical. It's a movie that has separate musical numbers that are mostly
Yeah.
unrelated. So,
I also give it a 3.5. Yeah. Which leaves me with a total score of 16.8, which is a 67.2%, and a 3.36 5-star rating.
yep, I have a total of 18 out of 25, which is a 72% or a 3.6 on our 5-star scale.
Nice.
It's I was doing the averages, and I won't say where the ranking of this is because we are, of course, doing our ranking episode in just under, well, I guess a month pretty much because we
Oh,
have another Glimpsing Greta episode to do. But
oh boy.
yeah, this one, the score rounds out to the exact same score as Fairytopia Mermaidia, which I thought was just kind of cool.
Sure, yeah. We're
Since
all
that's
in that
Mermaid.
Fairytopia.
And yeah. But yeah, I don't know. I'm just disappointed that this movie wasn't as good as it could have been.
Yeah, at this point, I'm just coasting.
Yeah. That
The
we
next
are
one should be interesting, but
yeah.
yeah. Thank you, everyone, for listening. Make sure to follow us on social media. We're Binging Barbie Podcast on Instagram, at Binging Barbie on Twitter, and Binging Barbie, a Barbie movie podcast on Letterboxd. We will be back next week with an episode on the 2019 film Little Women as part of our bonus series on the films of Greta Gerwig. Thank you.
Yep.
Goodbye.
And then after that, we will be talking about Barbie's first interactive
Whoa.
movie, Barbie Epic Road Trip.
I hope it's epic.
Yeah, we will have a few extra guests on for that one as well, and we'll have to compare our different routes on this interactive road
Mm-hmm.
trip.
Yeah.
But yeah, see you all later.